Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today we will be learning about past, present, and future verb tense. Materials that we're going to need today in our second grade classroom. One, we're going to need one pencil, we're going to need one highlighter, and we're going to need one piece of paper. The rest of the materials, as you can see, are already in your collection of desks in your groups. For our first activity, in the envelope in your group, there are strips of papers with events on them. I want you to read all the events in the envelope. Now, some have already happened, some are happening right now today, and some will be happening in the future. As a group, I want you to place each event where you think it belongs. So discuss as group members and place them either in the past box, the present box, or the future box. I'm going to give you one hint. There needs to be 4 events for each box. So as a class, as a group, please go ahead. After allowing a certain time for them to do this, start calling on groups. Group number 1, could you share with me what your past events are? They have dinosaurs roam the earth, Christopher Columbus discovers America, Abraham Lincoln's presidency, and the day you were born. Again, those all happened in the past. Present, group number 2, can you share with me what events you had for the present? They have Barack Obama's presidency, that's going on right now. You in second grade, you're in second grade, that is happening right now. The Minnesota Wild's 2014 season, that is happening right now. And Mark Dayton is governor of Minnesota. Mark Dayton is the current governor of Minnesota, so that is present. That is happening right now. Future, group 3, can you share with me what events you put in the future? You graduating from high school. Again, we just established you guys are in second grade. You are going to be graduating high school. People living on Mars. That has not happened yet. That will be happening in the future, possibly. Minnesota Vikings 2017 Super Bowl champions. That'll happen in the future. A guy can dream. Okay. And number 4, Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus run for president. Oh, if we could be so lucky. Now, as a group, I want you to take one of those statements and I want you to write 1 or 2 sentences about that statement. Okay? We will share them in a minute. As they share, you call on a student. As they share, write down the verbs that you hear from each statement. So as a mock. So class, these are the verbs after you shared. These are the verbs that I heard you from your sentences. We have won, we have running, will find, making, ate, exploring, worked, going, seen, will crush, talking, and kissed. This must have been an interesting sentence right here. Now, of the verbs that are in red, what tense do we think those verbs are in? Who can tell me? That is right. The verbs in red are in the past tense. They have already happened. Who can tell me the verbs that are colored blue? What tense are those in? Past, present, or future? That's right. The verbs in the blue are in the present tense. They are happening right now. And the verbs in the green, who can tell me what those are? That's right. Those are in the future tense. Very good. Now, verbs, every verb in the sentence will tell you when things are happening. Couple hints. The verbs with an ed at the end are in the past tense. I worked at school. Worked. That's already happened. That is in the past tense. Verbs with ing at the end are in the present tense. I'm working at school. And verbs with the word will before it are future tense. I will work at school. Okay, so let's do a little activity, a little exercise here. These 3 verbs, work, play, and talk. As a group, I want you to write down the past tense of these 3 words, the present tense, and the future tense of these 3 words. After allowing some time, group number 1, can you tell me what the past tense for these 3 words are? Very good. Worked. is the past tense. Played and talked. Jumped a little too far. Group number 2, could you tell me what the present tense of these 3 words are? Excellent. Working, playing, and talking. Present tense. And group number 3, can you tell me the future tense of these 3 words? Will work, will play, and will talk. Very good. Okay. Now sometimes the past tense verb is spelled differently. We have 4 examples here. Eat, fly, feel, and sit. These 4 are all verbs. As a group, I want you to write down the past tense of these 4 words. Okay, group number 1, can you share with me what the past tense of the verb eat is? That's correct. It is ate. It's the same 3 letters, just in different order. Group number 2, can you tell me what fly is in the past tense? That is flew. Very good. Group number 3, the past tense of feel. It is felt. Very good. It would not be field with an ed. Okay, it'd be felt. Okay. Group number 4, can you tell me what the past tense of sit is? It would be sat. Okay, it's not sitted. So these are little exceptions. All right. Sometimes writers confuse readers and change the verb tense in the same sentence. Let's look at an example. Our example sentence is, I'm resting on my bed as I watched TV. Okay. Can someone identify the verbs in the sentence? Very good. The verbs in this sentence are resting and watched. Those are the 2 verbs. Now looking at them, are they in the same tense? They are not. Okay. Who can tell me what what verb tense resting is and watching is? Excellent. Resting is in the present tense. He is doing that right now. And watched is in the past tense. So this sentence would be incorrect. This would be poor grammar. So looking at this sentence again, I'm resting on my bed as I watch TV. Okay. If we did this correctly, we want to have consistent verb tense or correct verb tense. We want both verbs in the correct tense or to have the same tense. If we were going to write it in the present tense, we would write, I'm resting on my bed as I watch TV. Okay. Both of those verbs are in the present tense. If we wanted to write it in the past tense, we would say, I rested on my bed as I watched TV. Okay, so this is the present tense version. This would be the past tense version. Now, does this change the meaning of the sentence at all? No, it does not. It really has the same meaning. We're just changing the tense so the tense is consistent. All right, to our activity. You each have a story in front of you. It's called The Bear and the Lion. We'll also have it up front here. We're going to do a little choir reading where we will all read together out loud. Here we go. The young bear saw the lion, and he will roar. Down the woods he runs, and leaped on the lion's head. The lion yells and slashed at the bear. Bad young bear. He gets a big cut on his ear and will run back home. Okay, not the greatest piece of American literature, but we'll deal with it. Now, go through as your group and take your highlighter that we got out earlier. I want you to highlight the verbs in that story. Highlight every single verb that you hear in that story. After allowing time, okay, who can tell me the first verb they hear in this story? Very good. The first verb we hear was saw. The second, will roar. Excellent. Third, runs. Leaped. Very good. Yells. Slashed. Gets. Will run. Okay, so that is all of them for our story. Now, what I want you to do, Excuse me, let me back up for a minute. As you can tell from all these verbs, are all these verbs in the same tense? Are they all in the past tense, or are they all in the present tense, or are they all in the future tense? No, they're not. They're all in a different tense. Okay, sometimes we have more than one verb in a sentence and they're in different tense. What I want you to do, this is our activity for today. You can work in pairs or in groups of 3. You can go anywhere in the classroom you want. Okay, you do not need to stay at your desks. You're going to get out the piece of paper that we had you get out earlier. You're going to take the story and you're going to rewrite the story and make sure all the verbs are in the same tense. Okay, so they're all going to be in the past tense, all be in the present tense, or all in the future tense. Alright. After you rewrite the whole story, I want you to highlight the verbs and check for consistency. Are they all the same? Now groups 1 and 2, you're going to be writing in the present tense. Group 3, you're going to be writing, let me back up. Groups 1 and 2, you're going to be writing in the past tense. Group 2, you're going to be writing in the present tense. And group 4, you're going to be writing in the future tense. Okay, so we're going to divide up a little bit. Again, highlight your verbs, check for consistency. When you get all done, put it in the basket. And the time we have remaining before we go to physical education is independent reading time or quiet reading time. Okay, I will be moving around the classroom if you have any questions. Go ahead.